Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today I'm going to be jumping into a different part of the LEGO world that I have never touched before, and that is light kits. LeLightGo contacted me on Instagram and sent this product over here, which is actually not just a generic light kit, but a specific one for a specific set. And that, of course, is the Tutor Corner. This was the modular to come out last year, and so they sent this over for me to review it for you guys. And so with that, there is a lot to cover here. This is my first time with a light kit, so I'm going to show you guys my experience unboxing the product itself along with the installation. And then once we've installed it, then I'm going to show you guys my final thoughts about it and how it looks both when the lights are on in the studio and also when the lights are off. So there is quite a lot to cover here, so let's jump right in. So this is an up-close look at the box here, and so as you can see, it has their website on it and also the specific version of the set. This one is made for the Tutor Corner, so that is going to essentially be a plug-and-play for this set here. I'm sure you could use it for other sets, but it is designed to fit with this one. I'm assuming that means the wires are cut to a certain length, and then this is the back of the box here. And so there's not much else to it other than opening this up. And this did get shipped to me in an envelope in a poly mailer. So that is pretty much that unboxing experience. But this is just a bag of bags, it looks like. And then on the inside here, we are going to have all of the tools needed in order to do this. So we have a nice pair of tweezers here, which actually seems pretty deluxe now that I'm holding them in my hands. I didn't know that this came with this, so this is pretty cool. And then here, as you can see, we have the components of the light kit here. You can see that the bags have letters and numbers on them. So A, 3, and then we have 2. And we also have number 1 here. And then we get the USB, the battery box here, and then the lamppost, and it does actually come with the lamppost, which I think is interesting. And then here we have what looks to be another USB. So there is not that much to it. It is hopefully going to be pretty straightforward. And so that is the extent of the unboxing experience here. There's not much else to it. There's no instructions or anything in this box here, so I guess I'm gonna have to go on their website and find a video or a PDF or something like that. So I'm going to go grab my tablet and then I will start this process here of adding the light kit to the Tutor Corner. All in all, this light kit installation took me about 45 minutes to put together. It was relatively straightforward. The PDF that LeLightGo has on their website was pretty easy to follow. It's just a bunch of pictures on different pages, and so it was pretty easy to follow. There was one step, which I'll touch on during the review, that they missed in the instructions, but it was thankfully pretty easy to just connect the wire and then move on. And so with that, let's just go right into the review and I'll show you guys what this looks like. So here is the build all done, or I should say the installation is all done here. And for the most part, the set looks the same. If you know what you're looking for, you're going to spot a few differences, namely in the clock here, as you can see the lights around that, along with the lights sticking out here, as well as in this section right here. And then a couple of the wires poking through as well, namely the red and black intertwined together in a couple of spots. But other than that, it is actually hidden really well, and I am pleasantly surprised by that. The pieces that do have, the Lego pieces that do have to get moved around in order to accommodate some of the wires here, like you can see here, they do kind of bow to one side or another, or if they are wedged in between the top and the bottom, then the top one is going to be warped up ever so slightly, but at the end of the day, it's not that big a deal. Now, I don't have the light kit turned on just yet because I want to show you guys what this looks like in most scenarios when you don't have the light kit on or you don't have the batteries in or whatever the case is. And so pretty much like I said, it just looks like the normal set, which is a good thing. There are obviously a couple of other instances, and so I'll go through the different spots where there are lights, and then I'll kind of just show you guys what exactly all of the lights will do. So this one right here is one strip right around the sign here, the menu sign, and they do include these tweezers like I showed, so I'll just use these as my pointers here. This is all one light strip, and then there is a cable running from that to the interior, and then there is another light in this lamp as well, and then that goes through to the inside. And then under each awning here, you can see there is a light here, and then the cable runs between the two slopes right here. And then the same can be said for this side here. There's a light underneath the awning, and then the cable goes to the interior. And then right up here, you can see on the top, there are a couple of lights on the flowers here. And these are actually done differently than any of the other lights in the set, where they have a stud and then the light is actually drilled into the stud. So they drilled a hole into it so that the wire could go through. And I wish that they did this more frequently, and I'll kind of explain that as I go along here. But this side right here, if I spin the entire thing around here, the lamp does have a light in it, thankfully. That makes sense to me, and that is honestly really nice to see. And then the cable does run under these tiles. So this is a pretty clear example. If I bring you guys pretty much to eye level with it, you can see that the model here, the tiles don't stick down quite right. This is teetering just a little bit, and the same can be said for these other two, because the wire from the lamp is going straight under here and then out to the side here. And then they have you put it around the Technic pin, so I added it just for the purpose of this video. I don't use these in my city, but there are people that do, obviously, and so that is something to note as well. And then if we come back up here, you can see that this light, or this cable, goes through under this tile here and then to the interior. And then these three cables here are what connects to each floor to the battery box. And so that is pretty much that there. This is, you can clip this to the side of your walls here, but it's not really necessary. And also, if you do end up putting another building next to this, I would honestly recommend having all of these cables come out the back. Then that way you at least don't interfere with the building that's next to it, because I don't think that would look very good if the two buildings are kind of bowed away from each other because of this thing. And it also would help if you didn't damage that over time. Now, moving up to the second level here, you can see the light right under here. There is a light right there. If it wants to focus, there's a light right here above this window. And then we talked about these lights already. And then the other light on this floor here, you can see, is the clock. This circles all the way around this 3x3 printed tile, and then the cable wraps around the top piece and then goes to the inside. And then that's pretty much it for this second floor here, but I guess this is technically connected to the first down here. This is a light strip similar to the one on the menu down below, but instead it is just wrapped up against the tiles here at the top of the first floor, and then that is also connected to the first floor set of lights. So that is everything on the first two levels, and now moving up to the third and final level here, you can see there are a pair of lights here. So they do include these pieces in order to add the lights right here. These are clear 1x2 tiles, but the pieces that they include, at least from what I can tell, are not official Lego pieces. I don't know what brand they are, but they are not Lego. They don't have a Lego logo on them. So these two tiles here, there are 1x6 plates that they use to put on the undersides of each of the floors. So then that way the cables have a little bit of cable management. Those are all non-Lego pieces. And then the lamppost that you saw at the bottom, that is also a piece that they provided. So just wanted to make that clear. And then you can see the little dot right there in the middle of that tile. That is the light itself. And then moving over to this side here, right under the Tudor style, they have this light right here. This is one big strip once more, and it looks like it doesn't want to fully stick on, but this is a little much for me personally. And once we turn the lights on, you'll kind of understand why. But this starts here and then it comes through here, and then the cable runs up the side here and you can start to see it. I didn't do a spectacular job in doing cable management here and hiding it, but I think it gets the job done, and I think it is pretty close. And then this final one right here, you can see the light right under here, right where the tip of the tweezers are, right there. And then that cable goes through and you can see the red and the black there, and then that goes into the 3rd floor. And so with all of that, that is everything that the light kit adds to the tutor corner. So now let's dim the lights of the room and turn on the light kit. So here is the light kit in full action. Now I've dimmed the lights here in the studio. And so as you can see, there is a lot of light here. And like I said before, some of these are a little much for me personally. I prefer a little bit more of a subtle experience with light kits. And so I'm going to go through, now that we've turned the light kit on, I'm going to show you guys every single light that we just took a look at and how it compares to obviously when the thing is off, and also to the other lights as well. So starting on the ground floor here, you can see the menu that we already took a look at has a blue light around it. This I don't think matches that well to the vibe of the inn on the 1st floor here. So this is a little much for me. I do really like this light though. That is pretty clean and I think it looks good. The flower ones, I'm going to be totally honest with you, are not for me. I don't think that they look any good. I also don't know why you would need a light on a flower. So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but the light here in this lamp I think looks great. And then the ones above the underneath the awnings, I should say, also look really good. I wasn't expecting to like those, but honestly, I think it looks great. And I really like the warmer tones of the lights under the awnings. I think that makes it look all that much better. Coming over to the other side here, you can see the lamppost here has a little bit of a warmer tone as well, and it has a lower Kelvin as opposed to the menu sign right here. And I did not mention this earlier, but the 1x6 plates that they include in the set are used in between the floors. I did mention that, but they have light strips underneath them, so you attach them with stickers and or an adhesive, and then they light the floor beneath them. So there's one here, there's one at the top of the 3rd floor, and then there's one underneath the roof. And then that helps see into the interior, which I think helps a ton. Oftentimes, once you put the roofs on these modular buildings, they have a lot of windows, but they don't get a lot of light in them. And so ultimately, it's kind of hard to see inside, and you're not really often taking the roofs off. So you miss out on a lot of the detail on the inside. And so with those lights, I'm very happy to say that you can actually see through. And so you can see the bar in the back there. You can see all of the details in there, which I think look great. And so this is honestly a really great win for me, especially the lamppost on the end here, the lights on the interior, as well as this lamp right here. I think they look great. Now moving up to the 2nd floor here, I do like this light. Again, this was a surprisingly nice one for me. I wasn't expecting to like this. I thought it would be a little much, but I think that this is cool. I think that it illuminates this area really well. I think that it looks good. And the same can be said for this one on the 3rd floor, but we'll talk about that in just a second. These flower ones here, again, I'm not a fan of, but we already talked about that. So I'm going to move past here and tell you guys about, again, the interior here. And then this clock here, I'm not a fan of. I like the warmer tone of it. The lower Kelvin value makes for a nicer color. But ultimately, I think it's just too much, and you kind of lose the clock, and it just becomes this giant ball of light or little orbs of light around this big circle. And so that doesn't really sit well with me. It doesn't look that great. And it's also not on both sides of the clock. So if you're looking at the tutor corner from this side, then it doesn't look that great. And so that is a miss for me personally. And an even bigger miss than that is this light strip down here. It does change colors. That is something I was not aware of before I put this together and I turned it on. So having it change colors is pretty cool, but it's not really for me. Again, it doesn't really fit with the vibe of the inn or the pub at the bottom. And so I don't think that is that great. That's not something that I would want necessarily in a building like this. I don't need lights that rotate through like that. And if that is the case, if that's what they want to provide in a light kit, I think that's fine. But I would have loved to have had the option of keeping it static or being able to rotate through the colors. So that's a miss. That is something that I would have liked to have seen. I would have liked that option to be able to change the colors as I see fit. And then again, the lights on the interior here, you can very clearly see everything that's going on in there. And you can also see some of the wires poking around the place there. And then moving up to the third level here, the top level, again, the light here I think looks really good, and it is a very nice touch. It's simple, yet it works. Same with this light down here. And then this light here, I'm putting it in the same category as the one with the menu and then the changing lights up right here in the bottom left corner of the screen. I don't really like this. If you were going to go this route, I would have liked to have seen it on all of the Tudor style. I think that would have made more sense. But ultimately, they only did it on this one side here. And so this doesn't really look that great to me. This is not something that I love. And so ultimately, this is something that I think is also a miss. Now, coming over this way, I was not expecting to like these at all. But much like the windows over here on the right by the haberdashery, I think that these are actually kind of nice. They're not my favorite lights on the entire kit, but I do think that these are pretty cool. And I do think that they add some value in this area as opposed to retracting value. Now, there is also a light source on the inside here, and I'm going to go and show you guys what each of the undersides of the floors looks like. I'm going to show you with this top section here because this is going to be the easiest one. And so right here, you can see the two 1x6 plates and then the light strips attached to them. And this is the same for the roof, obviously, because it's right here. And then it's the same for the third floor and then the second floor below it. So on the undersides of them, they have the plates. And then this is essentially your cable management system right here. This is where everything gets plugged into. And then it goes through the 1x6 plates in the ceiling. And then that cable runs out the back, which is what you saw plugged in to the battery box on the outside. So that can very easily be rotated to this side here because the Tudor corner in particular does have the alleyway down at the base. And so you have room to not only have the cables come out this side and be free of the other buildings next to it, but you can also add your battery box on this side as well. If you want to remove the trash can or the dumpster, you can put this here and then everything will be just fine. So now that we've gone through the Tudor corner on its own, I want to show you guys what this looks like next to some other modular buildings. And to do that, I'm just going to place it right back in my city. This is the only light kit that I have. And so I'm not going to be able to compare it to other light kits or other brands. But I want to put it in the city and I want to turn the lights down low just to show you guys what that would look like if you had the Tudor corner in particular lit up. And hopefully this can give you some sense of an idea as to how this would look on other modular buildings. So I have the Tudor corner now back in the city where it currently resides, which is next to my custom Lego store and flower shop and then the town hall. And it's across the street from the Grand Emporium and the police station. And then you can obviously tell the rest of the modular buildings from there. But with that, I want to go and start to dim the lights here. And I want to show you guys what exactly this is looking like here. And so obviously, this is the only one that I have lit up, like I said. So it's unable to really get a good comparison between the other buildings. But I want to show it like this anyways, just to show you what that looks like. And now that it's actually in the city, I don't think that the sign and then the changing colors and then the light under the Tudor section right there are as gaudy as I think I made them out to be during the review section of the video. I think that it's actually not that bad. It's still not something that I love and it's not my favorite, but it is definitely better when you're taking a step back and you have it in a city or in a layout with other things. I think that makes it look a lot better. The clock just gets lost to me, so that one's still a miss. I'm still not a fan of that one in particular. But most of the other lights I do actually like and I do actually think look pretty good. Now, if I turn the lights up again, you can see everything come back to normal here. But I want to also show you guys that I did not change the setup, how they described it in the instructions. I didn't go and move the cables like I had said that you could do. I didn't move them to this side here. I just left them up against this wall, like coming out of this side here. And they are squeezed up against the Lego store here. And everything is fine. There is no pinching as far as I can tell. Everything seems to be in order. And then this base plate does fit in the spot that it's supposed to. There's no gapping, there's no warping or anything like that. So that works out. That is all good for me. And then I do just have this dangling out here, but that's not a problem. I can find a home for that. And I just left this on the top here just for the sake of moving the building around so I didn't drop it and then accidentally yank all of the cables with it. The one mistake in the instructions that I do want to point out is the attachment of this cable right here. So the instructions are just a bunch of pictures in a PDF, and they were actually very simple to follow, but they did not include the step where you add this cable into this connector right here, which is what eventually connects down to the battery box. And while it's not anything complicated like coordinating all of the other cables and wires and things in order to have everything line up properly, this was still something that I wanted to point out because they did not show that in the instructions, and they were very good about showing it in all of the other steps. And one other thing is that this battery box right here takes 3 AAA batteries, but on the website it says it takes 3 AA's. So I got 3 AA's, and then I opened this up and it's just, they're not going to fit. So I had to go through and get my AAA batteries, which again, not a big deal, but it did have to take an extra step in order to get there. So just wanted to point that out. It says AA batteries on the website, but it actually takes AAA. These are the leftover things that you get in the set, and this is mostly just the backs of the adhesive that you apply to the pieces in the set in order for the light strips to stay on there. And then there are a number of these plastic ties as well that just help with cable management. So if you want to reuse those on the inside of the model, you definitely could do that. And then right here is just the cover for the tweezers here. So now that we've gone through the unboxing experience, the installation of the light kit, along with the review of it and how it looks when it's in the city with other modular buildings, now is the time to talk about price and value. Now, LeLightGo did send me this product to review, so I did not pay the $49.99 USD retail price that this goes for. And they have various prices of these light kits on their site, depending on the size of the set and the number of lights that you would need. But for $49.99, if I was a regular consumer, I don't think I would buy this. As nice as this is, and it's actually a lot nicer than I was expecting, I don't think I would be spending $50 on a light kit simply because it would enhance this set. I would rather put that $50 towards another set, whether that's an entire set, like a city set that you could get for $20, $30, or $50, or you put it towards another set that is larger than 50, like another modular building or something like that. I think I would rather do that instead, but this was a very good experience for me. I do really like how this turned out, and this really opened my eyes to this whole world of light kits. The experience actually installing it, it wasn't the funnest thing in the world, but I'm sure it'll get easier the more light kits that I end up doing. And ultimately, some of these I will probably end up taking out. Like I said, the lights on the flowers here and then the one on the clock, those are definitely going to go. The one around the menu is a maybe. Same with the changing lights right down here. That one will probably also leave. It will no longer be on the building, but I think that what is here is pretty cool. Now, for the $50 US or the $49.99, I would have loved to have seen the ability to change some of the lights here. And what I mean by that is the one that rotates through the different colors on the ledge here. I would have loved to have been able to choose if I want it to be a white light or a blue light or something like that, and then change it to have it rotate through. I don't know how they would do that on this battery here, but that would have been nice for the $50 price tag. And the other thing is that I don't always want all of the lights on all of the time. I really like how the interiors look, and being able to see them from the outside is great, especially now that the light kit is attached. Here, you can't remove this roof farther than this. So you have to really either get your head close to look at it, or you just have to forego looking at the interior altogether. So actually being able to see on the inside of this is great. But without that, I want to be able to see the interiors both on and off. And so sometimes that means the shop on the first floor is closed for the night, like the haberdashery is closed, but the pub is still open. And then the apartment up top here is on, the lights are on in there because someone lives there. And then maybe the clockmaker is just finishing up, so only one of the two lights are on. And I would love to be able to have that freedom, that liberty to change the lights like that without having to physically unplug each of those lights. And even then, I wouldn't be able to do that because the ones that are in the ceilings of each of the floors here that illuminate the interior are the ones that directly connect to this. So if you disconnect that, then the entire floor is going to be losing light, which is not really ideal. I would have loved to have seen that ability to change the lights. Again, I don't know how that's possible with a small battery like this. There is an option to get the remote with this. This is the classic version, to my understanding of it on the website. This is the classic one that just comes with the little battery box. And then there is a version, which I believe is $59.99 USD, at least for the Tudor Corner model, where you get the remote as well. Now, I'm imagining that the remote would be able to do everything that I just described, but then again, you are paying an additional $10. Now, on the topic of price, the people over at LeLightGo did give me a coupon code and also an affiliate link for you guys. So you can go down to the description and you can click on that link and it will take you to their website, and I will earn a small commission on that link at no extra cost to you, which does help fund the channel. Now, the more important part of that link is that if you use the code ChrisBricks, it is, I'll put it on the screen, it's all one word, all caps, you can get these light kits, or any light kit for that matter, for 25% off. Now, this would bring it from 50 USD all the way down to 37.50, which I think is a much fairer value for what you're getting here. And if you got the one with the remote for $59.99 or 60 US dollars, that would bring it down to 45. And that is pretty much right in line with the price of the classic one. So you're basically getting the remote for free, which I think would make this a far better deal. And again, that just sums up everything that I've been talking about for the last couple of minutes. I think having a remote with this and being able to individually change all of those colors, I think would be phenomenal. And so other than that, I don't really have much else to say other than whatever I had said before. So without repeating myself too much, I'm going to just wrap the video up here. I hope you guys found some value in this video. I hope you found it informative, or at the very least entertaining. And if you did, make sure to like the video and also drop a comment down below to let me know what you think of light kits. If this is your first experience with one, or you have multiples and you can't wait to add another one to your collection. Also, let me know if you want to see other light kit brands reviewed as well. This is LeLightGo, like I've said a number of times, but there are also a plethora of other brands out there. So let me know if you want to see a review on any of them. But again, seriously, thank you guys so much for watching. That affiliate link and coupon code is down in the description. Make sure to subscribe for more so you don't miss out on any other reviews, both light kits as well as Lego sets, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye for now.